Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of The Girl on the Train. So this is a first. They handed out nifty little tote bags at the screening, so that's super fun. Otherwise, the screening experience tonight was a little bit sloppy. But the bigger question is, was the movie itself sloppy? In some respects, yes, but overall, I enjoyed myself with The Girl on a Train. So we're gonna just go ahead and put it out there. I haven't read the books. I know, shocker, me not reading. So I don't really have that point of reference, but I don't think you necessarily need to have read the book to fully enjoy a movie adaptation. So starting with the positives on this film, first of all, Emily Blunt is fantastic. She really just nails it. Honestly, she knocks it out of the park in everything she does. But I thought she really brought a lot to this role. She does all of the crying and emotional and sad scenes extremely well, but she does little switches in her personality that keep you kind of on edge, keep you guessing. I just think she played the role amazingly. And honestly, I think most all of the cast is really strong. I think Justin Theroux was good. I think that Edgar Ramirez was good. Rebecca Ferguson also was very strong in this movie. And honestly, with that blonde hair, she's pretty much unrecognizable. And then we have Haley Bennett, who, again, does a very, very good job. I haven't seen her do much other than, Magnificent Seven recently, and she was really strong there. I think she is really strong here. And yes, my comparison to a Jennifer Lawrence, Bryce Dallas Howard baby still stands. She looks like a good morph between the two. If I were to say, I think maybe Justin Theroux was the weakest, but really across the board, all of the actors came to play. Lisa Kudrow is part of the poster names. She's not really given much to do, has a very tiny part, so if you're coming for Lisa Kudrow, just know you won't see much of her. I also think the film is shot really beautifully. The cinematography is really nice here. It's very sexy feeling throughout. And I think the director does a very nice job of keeping that suspense throughout, keeping you guessing, throwing you off track continually throughout the film. I know that a lot of that has to do with the book that it's adapted from. Obviously, if it's written well, it'll keep you off track. But I think the movie also does a lot visually to kind of push you into certain directions or throw those misguides into the story. And really, it does keep you guessing throughout. It kept me pretty invested all the way through. I was curious. I was constantly trying to solve this mystery, constantly trying to figure out who killed this girl and what actually happened, what went down. And they do a nice job of leaving you those little breadcrumbs to keep you interested in wanting more throughout the movie. If I'm going to go with some negatives on the film, I think one of the biggest negatives actually is the script adaptation. There is a lot of exposition in this movie. There's a lot of people just kind of telling you what's happening or telling you how they feel. And in those exposition scenes especially, it felt like a book. Like they didn't really adapt it to sound right to the ear. Rather, it seemed like it is a sentence or a phrase that looked good for a literary source. Unfortunately, it didn't translate all that well to an actual script. I also think that throughout that second act especially, the movie starts to feel really convoluted. We have so many different moving parts in here that I think the movie itself starts to lose track of all those different parts and where they were headed and what we were actually doing with these different parts. So it all just feels kind of like a jumbled, convoluted mess throughout that second act. It does come back out to a good solid third act and resolves most all of the issues. I think there's a couple loose strings in there, but it's easy to get lost in that second act. And it's easy to get distracted because there are so many side stories that you kind of forget that you're actually trying to solve this mystery. You're actually involved in a murder case. And instead, you kind of are taken off and given these random little side stories and flashbacks of things you don't necessarily care about or backstory that you don't really care about. And finally, I think the movie and probably the book suffers from the fact that I don't think any of our characters are likable for at least the first 2/3 of the movie. All of them are either just kind of flat out bad people, and you can see that they're bad people, or they're just kind of annoying. So it stays hard to really root for somebody or hope somebody didn't do it or hope that somebody did do it when you kind of don't really like any of them. But the ending comes out into this big, crazy ending, kind of like Gone Girl, and I think it is satisfying, just like Gone Girl. I don't think this movie as a whole is quite as good, but I think the end really wraps it up well. And you end up coming around and having characters that you like, kind of retroactively realizing why they made a lot of the choices they made or why they became that kind of person, and that makes the ending feel just so satisfying. Also, I didn't mention Allison Janney earlier. She's definitely a positive. I thought she was very good. Also, a very limited role, but she steals the camera when she is on screen. So, overall, I think The Girl on a Train is a well-made, solid thriller. I had a good time. I know that it's getting mixed reviews, but I think it's actually probably worth a full price ticket, at least the matinee. It's worth seeing in the theaters. It's a solid, good time at the movies. So, that has been my review of The Girl on a Train. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see The Girl on a Train? And what is your favorite psychological thriller suspense? Let me know either in the comment section down below or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!